You've got a good butt on you, though, haven't you?
I don't know.
Fucking hell.
Ash, keep that in.
What's your
Thank you.
secret?
He loves his batty eating as well. Good thing.
Cut that out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the pod. Once again, we're back here in Moo Moo's, Kent's hottest nightclub, and we have another special guest for you and a good friend of mine, AJ. What's going on?
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Even though I had to drive you up here. Thanks for...
I drove halfway. I met you halfway. What are you talking about?
I mean, you did, to be fair, but chewed my ear off for about an hour.
Well, she was napping. I was driving.
Yeah,
so.
well,
she drove?
No. When she was coming to me, I literally fell asleep, and then I woke up. I was like, I need to go film my pod now.
And I was busting for a wee as well. So I was like, babe, I need to go to toilet. He was like, all right, I'm just going to take he was like, all right, I'll be at the door. It took you about 5 minutes. Literally hopping around your drive, trying to get this wee in, taking your sweet ass time.
She came in to drop a pony and that was it. That toilet smelled questionable.
And your toilet didn't flush as well. I was like, so I had to literally open the toilet and be like, your toilet don't flush.
Does it up in
I was like, your toilet don't flush.
You just have to turn the switch.
on purpose.
Listen, I just wanted to...
He has a poo
Take that for later. Take that for later. Put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
A chunk of it every morning.
Now you know
Wow, what a start.
Yeah. Welcome to the GraftKings podcast.
This is going to be fun. I like it.
Right, AJ, do you want to introduce yourself? For the people who don't know you back home, let us know who you are, what you're about, and why we have you on.
I don't know why you have
Well, you tell us. There must be something interesting about it.
So, hi, guys. Guys checking in. May J. Bunker did Love Island. Now, I don't why do I have to do this?
There's going to be people across the world not knowing who you are.
Some people want to know, innit?
All right, guys. So I'm AJ Bunker. I did Love Island season 7. I was a bombshell. I now fight for Misfits, so it's a crossover boxer. So you might know me from Love Island, you may know me from boxing, or you may just get to know me through this podcast. So
Jeez.
Sweet. Lovely.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Right. So what episodes are we up on now on Love Island? Because I don't watch it. So
I haven't watched
I
it.
haven't actually started this new season.
It's awful, mate. This new
11,
one.
12, what are we on?
I think it's 12.
It's like season 10 or 11 or 12.
So was you pre-COVID or?
I literally was during COVID. I was the season during COVID.
I watched that one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was a good season.
Is that where was that? It could have been abroad, was it? Was it abroad?
Yeah, it was abroad, but I had to be in so you get put in a holding villa.
Yeah.
So I was in a holding villa for 3.5 weeks before getting put in the actual villa. Whereas usually I think they fly people out and then within a few days they get put in the villa. So I had like 3.5 weeks without my phone, without family, without friends.
Oh, so you was
long
time. Always like a quarantine thing.
Yeah.
Because it's COVID
Oh,
time.
wow.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'll be a few
just quarantining me and my chaperone, basically.
I can imagine it's quite nice just to switch off.
Yeah, considering during COVID we couldn't go anywhere, so it was like a really nice villa as well.
Yeah.
2 pools, me and my chaperone, and she was my Becca. Shout out, I don't know why I did this, but yeah, she was really cool. So it was like a proper little Zen retreat with a mate, basically.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
it is nice getting away from the phones and stuff, but 3.5 weeks is a long time not knowing before you go into a villa as well.
Obviously your parents don't know where you was going, right?
Yeah, my parents knew. My brothers didn't know. No, literally the only people who knew were my parents and my 2 best friends, and then everyone else had no clue at all. And actually, so everything was shut off as well. So obviously I had no internet or access to social media.
Wow.
The only thing was allowed is Netflix in the evenings. I actually found out my ex was on Too Hot to Handle during the time I was waiting on Love Island.
way.
I was like, oh.
Who's your ex? Yeah. We'll bleep it out.
That's not.
We'll
bleep
that out.
I called. I don't even want to say his surname. It's really I
don't even know who that is.
But he was on Cam and Emily season. He was at this
Means
horrendous
nothing
laugh.
Yeah.
Had a
It's a good
horrendous
show
laugh.
though.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Love Island.
Oh, Hot to Handle?
Yeah, I think so.
That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a good show.
Never watched it. No, same.
Don't watch
Never
reality
watched
TV.
it.
I think it's more suited for you.
Oh, cheers.
Why's
Someone
that?
who probably is a bit of a boy that needs to.
I'm not a boy. I
Right.
used to be. Not anymore.
Reform.
I've changed.
Reform.
I was telling you in the car on the way here how I'm not about that life anymore for the past week.
He's not changed.
The duration of this car joke.
Until we go to Ibiza.
Yeah, until you hear Ibiza.
Next question, please.
Right, so how old are you, AJ, if you don't mind me asking?
30.
30, okay, nice. And
30.
30. Just turned recently or?
Turned in December. I'm a Sagittarius, guys.
Nice, I don't know what that means, but okay. For all those, I don't think our audience is probably going to be into that.
Wait, if there's actually any audience out there that is into star signs, hit me up because I actually am well into it. And
There you go, boys. Easy way in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Just slide
Make a
into
note
it
there,
in the
boys.
ends.
Make a note.
literally, just even if you pretend to like it,
Yeah.
it's actually like a.
Love Island.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about life prior to that. Like, what was you up to? What was you doing? And then how did you end up getting into going on Love Island?
Oh,
So-
the answer's so later on. So yeah.
Yeah, pre-Love Island. So I had a little side hustle doing hair extensions. I was also a customer service manager for a medical software company. The medical software company that actually provided all the systems for the National Immunisation Project. So I was working with like high up government and like high working like medical professionals. And then I just applied for Love Island.
What
So
made
you
do that,
applied?
though?
So I actually was approached maybe a few years ago, like maybe about 4 years prior, like scouted. And then, but I was with someone and I've always kind of been with someone. And then when me and my ex broke up, I think we were broken up for about 1.5 years. And it was during COVID. And I was like, oh, do you know what? I've tried different ways of dating. I've had like, guys, if we had like a long amount of time, I've had a really weird dating life. Like,
How long have you got?
I said, I've had like really weird experiences and I've had some fucked up dates and some fucked up guys in my life, obviously without naming names, but like, yeah. And I just thought I've tried all ways of dating, like, you know, fucking dating apps, people sliding into DMs, trying to meet people on nights out. And I just like, none of it's really worked. So it's
Yeah, but did you
ever come to the
go onto Love Island to find out?
genuinely.
No one goes on to Love Island.
Genuinely, I thought like it's an experience and I would like to like actually meet someone. Like for me, everything like for me, I live life through experiences. Like I want to like be on my deathbed and be like have
Done
really
things.
good stories to tell my grandkids. Do you know what I mean?
I think when you're
Wow.
not nobody, but when you're not known in like that industry, I think it's easier to date personally. But if you're, but like if you're well known, then it's just you think are people with me for the wrong reasons? Like was it easier before or after?
No, it's definitely more difficult now after Love Island today. Before Love Island, I think you kind of just, I don't know, like before Love Island, guys, like they could still lie to you, but like it's like, what do they gain from that? Do you know what I mean? And it was easier just like date people and get to know people. Whereas now I find I've got to be really careful with the people I date. And like I found that the last few people I've dated actually like wanting to use me, or like get something out of it. And you attract like, yeah, it's definitely like harder now. And I feel like you can't just be like a serial dater as well, because you don't want to be like seen with like loads of different guys. And like even if you're not sleeping with these guys, it's like you don't want to be seen with like taking different guys to a different event and then be like, who's she dating now? So it's like, you know, it's whereas before before Love Island, you can just date as many people as you want. And if it's like a date, you don't have to see them again, and you just, do you know what I mean?
I was just going to say before I know you want to ask a question, but I just want to know the answer to this, yeah?
So I keep swearing as well. Is that
No,
bad?
it's all good. So obviously you're saying your dating history is a bit up and down, yeah?
Yeah.
So now that you're going into OF, do you feel like it's going to be even more difficult?
I went on to OF because I got sponsored by OF. Like I
Okay.
didn't do it because I wanted to be an OF girl. And to be honest, being on the platform, it's changed my mind on it. Like I guess it's just free. Women can do, and men can do whatever they want on there. But I'm quite like I grew up in a Catholic household, so I know like I actually spoke to my family before
Did ya?
taking the sponsorship, because obviously there's a lot of stigma around it. And
Yeah.
my parents, like, because I grew up in a Catholic household, my parents' opinions like mean like everything to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to know what you think about this. And they're like, at the end of the day, you're in control of what you put out there, and what you put up there. So I feel like I would have that conversation with whoever I date. And if like became serious, if they wanted to like look at what I putting up, then
Yeah.
subscribe
fair
there.
enough.
But then no, but yeah, I'll definitely get them to feel comfortable, because like if I'm with someone, then obviously I want them to feel like, do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? I'm with somebody. So, but at the moment I'm not. But I also don't put anything out there that if it got leaked, I wouldn't be like, oh shit, that got leaked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be worried, because I do.
Now that you've got to the level that you're at in terms of clout and certain things you do, and obviously, like I said, TV opportunities, and look, again, be as honest as you can, I suppose. Do you feel a certain sense of entitlement in terms of the type of guy now that you would want to date and go out with, like in terms of the caliber of geezer that he should be?
So even before Love Island, like I bought my own house when I was 20. I've driven my own car, and I've always like worked, do you know what I mean? I had my own salary. So I've always I guess being particular, I need to be with a guy that's ambitious. Like I couldn't be with someone that doesn't want to drive or doesn't want to work. Like I couldn't do that.
Sure.
So I don't think my type has changed in terms of before or after Love Island, but there's definitely a criteria that they need to hit. Like they need to be ambitious, need to love traveling, and they just. Yeah, it's got.
Yeah, we was talking about it on the way here, and I said to her, I was like, look, because she was like, look, by 20, I've got my own house, I had my own car, I had this, and I said to some guys, that's intimidating. Like to some guys, they can't compete with that, so they'll be scared to kind of approach women that are successful. So essentially, what I was saying to AJ was, I think the more. To some sort of respect, the more successful a woman gets, the lesser options get in a way because she's looking for someone on her level or maybe more. Where for a man, we don't really care about that. We won't look back and go, how much money are you making? It's just,
would you care about what a guy earns?
Not necessarily what they earn, but they just need to be ambitious. Like they've got to have like goals, and they need to be like, I don't want to have to basically
look after him.
Yeah, I don't have to look after a man. Like I think everything should at least be equal. Like, and also like I've been paying my own bills and everything since I was 20. Like Joey, I want someone that can like be like, oh, do you know what? Let me like get this for you. Like not my bills, but like dinners and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice to actually like have someone who wants to do nice things and not. I am an empath, so if I know that they're not making a lot of money, I'd feel guilty that they're spending that money on me.
Yeah, sure.
I want to be with someone that I know that is like, can do nice things, and I don't have to feel guilty about it.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm not like, oh, they're doing this and they're making the effort, but they're not in a position where they should be doing this.
What was that word you used? Empath.
Yeah.
Does that mean an empathetic person?
Yeah.
Never heard that expression in my life.
Really? You never heard of being an empath?
Is it an actual word or is it like a word abbreviation?
Yeah, you can be an empath, yeah.
Wow, I like that word. I like that word a lot.
Add it to vocab.
Yeah, I'm using it more often.
Add it to the vocab. I like this one's tattoo. I was looking at what that word is.
She was like, does it say cupcake?
It says cupcake.
It says copaesthetic.
Guys, look at this tattoo. What does it say?
It means in excellent order. It's an English-American word.
It means what?
In excellent order. Yeah.
Can you use it in a sentence?
So if yo boys, is everything copaesthetic? It's actually used a lot. I think it's more in American language than it is English, but
looking at first like lips, doesn't it look like cupcake?
It's like cappuccino.
Oh, well, I've had that before as well, yeah.
Good job they do tattoo removal.
Exactly.
They must have a GoFundMe page for his tattoo.
Twat, cheers.
Right, so how many pods have you done before this?
Like 4 or 5.
And what have you spoke about mainly?
Love Island, boxing, life after Love Island, I guess.
Okay, let's change it up a bit then. Let's talk about something. The people who know of you already know this story. They're probably going to get bored listening to it again. Why don't we go into something? You said you got a lot of dating stories.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about some dating stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah, because
absolutely.
Men want to know what makes women tick. They want to know
100%.
what's going through their minds. What's a bad thing? What's a good thing? What's an ick? What turns them on? What turns them off? So let's dive into it.
Might insult a few men here.
Yeah, well, good. Let's do it. Tell us you said you've had some absolutely horrendous dates. Let's
Okay, so let me give you an example.
Let's go.
A guy I dated, not recently, but like was getting to know. Oh God, yeah. So I literally get a text from him the other day. I ghosted him because I've just got weird vibes from him, right? I get a text from him Saturday going, "Hey, how's life?" I thought, okay, he's just trying to catch up. Like I'll be pleasant to someone. Like I'm not gonna be horrible. But then he was like, "Yeah, so I'm just messaging you because I want to get your blessing to basically ask my mate out on a date." And I was just like, "Are you fucking serious?" And the thing is, right, so I met this guy at an event and he was like, come Tenerife. So I brought me and my mate out to Tenerife, just go on a spontaneous trip, right? Spend some time with him and his mates. And then I got the vibe when I was there, like, and they're chatting, like, and she ain't interested in him. So yeah, if he sees this, you know who I'm talking about. But she ain't interested in you. But do you know what I mean? She was just being like nice, and then she told me something like, she was like, "Oh, he asked my number," and I was like, "Oh," that instantly gave me the ick. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Oh, fuck that guy!" Like, gotta ghost him anyways. So
Sorry to pause you. Did he fly you out or did you fly yourself out?
flew myself out.
Okay, cool.
Come on now.
Fly you out
I mean,
to
if
Greece.
a guy does want to fly me out on holiday, then that's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, sorry, continue.
But no, we were on a spontaneous trip. We just flew ourselves out, booked an apartment, and yeah, like obviously I just ghosted him because I was like, oh, it already gives me red flags that he's asking like my mate for a number,
Yeah,
and then
weird,
obviously, however many weeks later, he's like, "Yeah, I want your blessing to ask her out." But then in that same text, he's like, "Yeah, I think you need a bit of whatever his name is in your life," and then he was commenting on my stories, being like, "Oh, you look good in yellow." It's like, what the mate. Like, what do you want?
He
Like,
wants
you're
it all.
asking. He wants it all.
He wants a threesome. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
A man can only try.
Was there any connection between you two, or?
No, so before like we went out, like before I went out to Tenerife, we were like talking a lot, like and I like a guy that talks. Like,
Sorry, I meant, did you sleep with him?
No.
Okay, cool.
I
No,
don't sleep.
I was
with
thinking
guys like that quick.
that'd be even
at
funnier
all.
though if we asked.
How many days are we talking?
I think at least 3 days.
At
At
least.
least.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My mate went my last serious ex. I made him wait 10 days.
Yeah, but if it's after one thing, then realistically, to be fair.
Yeah, he was a bit of a that's why he didn't
10 dates.
Yeah.
I'd have sucked that off, mate.
That's what I mean.
What's the equivalent they say to this? I'm just going to regurgitate what I've seen on other pods. They say
we did other bits, but just not
They-
the full shebang.
they say if she's not going to sleep with you, then should I technically be paying for you? That's what they're like having a debate on this pod. Is like, should I be spending money on you? Should we be going out doing this stuff? Because he's not saying
if you
they're
want
not
a
saying-
genuine connection with someone and you actually want to get to know them, and
You don't
build
need to
that
get to
trust.
know someone by spending money on them, though.
That's what I'm saying. You don't exactly.
No, you
don't
can
have
do
to.
dates that you don't spend money. You go for a picnic, you can go for runs together. You can do actual nice stuff that don't involve spending big amounts of money. I don't think like guys should have the expectation that girls
That's a
need
good point. That's a
that.
good point. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like you can plan nice dates that don't cost a lot of money.
Did you know what the problem is nowadays? An expectation
what-
set by society that you
trying to
need
say.
to
I
do.
feel.
That's
I
what
actually
I'm
feel like if
trying
a
to say.
guy put together like a picnic hamper, spent what £5 on food, or said like you been.
Where the hell are you shopping?
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Good luck
Like,
in the
it's fun-
UK.
It's nice weather at the moment. Like
At the moment, it is.
yeah, like that's actually one of the dates we did, and it was actually really nice.
In COVID time, I think that was very fucking popular. I think that's all anyone.
I didn't do
done.
many
But I
dates
think
in
after a few
COVID.
dates, like
I
you,
did
if
in
you've
my
got that
restaurant.
connection, talk and chat and like be in the sun together and just enjoy the day, then
But technically, like Yo said, there is an expectation that a man needs to bring this to a table before he gets anything. So if I'm just taking her to the park for a walk, if I'm just going on a coffee
no, but that's
date,
not a first
she's
date.
gonna she's
yeah,
just
of
gonna
course,
go,
there's got a few
"Is this-
dates in.
Where's sexy fish? I'm gonna go right, or you ain't give me the nani.
I think the first few dates, if you're like trying to like obviously initiate something, you need to do something like.
What if you go? Oh, I hear what you're saying, yeah, and I understand that point. But what if you go for all the however long 10 days? I mean, what's that? It's got to be fucking what 2-3 months maybe.
I'm
So
confused. I missed something. What's this 10-day thing you boys talking
10
about?
dates.
So her friend.
Dates.
Yeah.
10 days.
That's what I'm saying.
Not 10 days.
Oh,
10
what? I kept
days.
hearing 10 days. Like, what is something going on about?
10 dates, bro.
Right, so let's say you do 10
saying,
dates,
long.
right, over the
You-
course of what? That's got to be at least a minimum 2 to 3 months.
A
No, but you're
relationship.
doing other bits. It's just not the full.
Yeah, no, but hang on, right. So you're doing 2 to 3 months, right? What if then you do the deed and there's nothing there. It's flat. It's dead. You're like, you've wasted all that time.
But then it
effort and
shouldn't be
energy.
like you wasted because in that 10 weeks you probably like actually built a connection with someone and you actually might have made a good friend. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's just in you. That's just
You men, like, but it's still like
Why
if
do we-
if you're invested that amount of time with someone and it's been nice 10 dates and you've obviously done more than one date, you're obviously enjoying that person's company.
No, he's not. He's trying to chop, but you're just making him
Yeah.
wait for 10 days.
He's just trying to shop.
Trust me.
At the end of the day, your relationship with that individual, when it's like that with somebody, boils down to your sex life. Not like really when crunch comes to crunch. And so if it ain't there, you've got no relationship. So you're like, what a waste of my
Do you think he wants a friendship?
But I'll say that we did other stuff. Like, I'm just saying we just didn't do the full sex.
So there obviously weren't friendship then, was it?
No, who said there was friendship?
You just said. You said, oh, you
No, I'm
might.
saying, but if at the end of the 10 days, if you're saying the sex is and you don't have any
No, that's time wasted. I'm sorry.
intimate
Don't you
connection,
think that could change that?
then you can definitely like
change?
be
The
mates
sex?
after that.
No.
Because
I
I had
find
an
like that,
encounter
yeah,
that. I
sex
hated
on the
it.
first go sometimes isn't
Yeah,
great.
I
It's
agree.
like
I
you got to
agree.
get to know that person.
Yeah.
Like,
No, don't vibe with everyone though, does it? There's been dead.
Yeah, but then that's it. Then that's
Like,
all you
no,
know.
you
Well,
can have
that's what
some
I'm
good
saying.
sex. You can have instant good sex.
Yeah.
I think like if someone like is like, so basically everyone has a particular way they like to be basically or have sex. Like, so sometimes somebody might like understand it because that's the way they like it.
Becomes
But
a
if
dance
say if you date, you start sleeping with a guy that likes it a different way, then you got to kind of learn about each other's bodies and
That's
how
what
each
I'm
other
saying.
like it. But sometimes you might have that one, by off chance, she likes it like that. I like that. But there might be ones where girls like it more sensual and the guy likes to just like, do you know what I mean, like a f***ing, I don't know, pillow driving something. And do you know what I mean? That's not going to work.
Was there a pillar
Don't-
drive?
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't you think though? After 10
Pillow
days,
drill.
though,
Is that it? Is that what it's called?
I was laughing at his face, bruv. He was making me.
I'm just laughing at his
The
face.
drill. Do you know what I mean? Like when a guy just tries to drill.
Get a drill.
Like, I don't think any girl enjoys that, to be honest.
What?
Take note, boys.
Drill.
Like when they're
Nah,
just trying to fucking
just go ham.
go
instead of, like-
ham.
All right.
So
You do that for the last 20 seconds.
it depends, isn't it? You got to change pace.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you don't go just full prop.
But you haven't had. Right, let's go on, man. I'm sorry. I've got such a child in me. Cool. Oh. Anyway, right. So you've never had sex with someone on the first time, yeah, and then it got better as it went on, have you? Do you know what I mean?
Huh?
Like, so you said you might have sex with someone for the first time,
Yeah.
and it's been, I don't know,
Average.
right?
Yeah.
Let's say you haven't then continued to have sex with that person and improve.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's for me as well.
Are you mad? Yes.
This is more question to you. Don't you think? Yeah,
Go on,
I know what you're saying. I agree. Yeah, if it is
Oh my
shit
god,
sex,
the first time's always I think a bit like a little bit awkward, and it's like and then I think this is the difference between like I've dated guys, right? There's guys that just want to like
Yes, right.
do
I'll
their
ask the
thing.
question later.
I'll wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
But I've dated the guys that actually like get off and girls getting off, and then they're like, "How do you like it?" That's where the sex is good because you actually communicate
do
what each
that.
other like.
I actually
Well, you
asked.
asked.
I asked.
And the sex gets better because when you first start, like when you first start out, it is a
How'd
bit
you
like,
like it?
oh, how do you like it kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Unless you're both like obviously got to know each other and it's like sensual sort of shit. I don't know.
I'm
I
sorry.
feel you.
Oh,
go on.
God.
We're trying to have a sensible conversation.
sorry.
I'm understanding everything you're saying.
Yeah,
and I
same.
agree with you. It's just this prick keeps making me laugh.
I didn't say.
Right, I was watching you going to finish what you was going to say.
He said, "How do you like it?"
No, I know.
This whole thing's gonna have to do. Cut this out.
I
Cut
feel
that
like
out.
we're
Cut
gonna
this
have to do
out.
so much editing in this.
I'm keeping this.
I hope everyone likes this. I tell you, I hope everyone likes this.
What I was going to
We're
say
gonna,
he
like,
was.
just go through all of this.
I agree with what you're saying, but don't you think in those 10 days, if you develop feelings for someone, even if the
that's
sex
why I think
wasn't,
sex-
Hang on.
if it wasn't that great, don't you think you're still going to enjoy it because you think you've developed some sort of
No.
emotional connection to them?
No, because I think it's gutting if you look at somebody and you might have a slight emotional connection to them, and then you have sex, you're like, that was fucking
That happened to
shit.
Yeah,
me
but what
recently.
makes it so like that it can't be improved?
Well,
Unless
there's
she's actually got,
there's
like-
just not that
You know what?
spark. I know when like I've had
Well, but after
phenomenal
10
sex
dates, you would
and I've
have
had
that
awful
spot.
sex.
It happened
do you
to
know
me
what I mean?
After 10 dates,
recently.
you will have that spot.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You would
No.
have built that.
I think
Yeah,
I would,
Yeah, but
I would
if you've
know
gone
with
on
a
10 dates,
two-week
it's like you've done
second
other
first
things.
date,
You're
I think.
kissing, you're building like that.
I'd be bored off the 10 days. I wouldn't make it to 10 days.
I think I would know within the first or
I've
second
never
But
date.
this is if so. Like I think you guys are thinking like this is if I actually genuinely want a relationship with someone. I'd do it like that. Do you know what I mean? Some 10's the most. Maybe like 3 to 5, maybe 10, depending. This goes to be a boy, right? That's why I needed 10 dates because I was like, I actually need you to prove you ain't gonna like. Be,
Okay, yeah, I
do
can
you know what
understand
mean?
that logic.
I had a really bad past, even in the time, like to the point that he had actually slept with one of my girls back in the day. Do you know what I mean?
Oh wow.
So that's why I was like,
You're an idiot then, aren't you?
really like need you to prove yourself. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's not probably like fuck boy, then yeah, maybe like 3.
So what
5
did he
dates
do
or
after the 10th date?
Huh?
Did you see? It?
It went down. Shit hit the fan. That's what happened.
So did he stick about? Did he go?
Yeah, we was in a relationship.
How long for?
We stayed together for 1.5 years.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so
Yeah.
fair play, it worked out then.
Yeah.
Really?
Put it this way, though. If a girl did say to me, you have to wait 10 dates,
10 dates for a year and a half. That's 10 weeks out of a year and a half.
But it wasn't like you have to wait 10 days.
No, but-
It's like just we were just like enjoying getting to know each other.
but, like,
and
did,
it felt
but
right.
did he
And
know
then when we
that
counted
you had
back,
that
we-
10-date rule? Did he know you
It
had
wasn't
that?
actually like officially a 10-date role. I
Okay,
was just like
so-
when we just feel I feel
Right,
comfortable.
okay.
And
like,
how do you know
like,
How do you know he wasn't sleeping with other women in that 10 dates?
because I think
Oh.
I think 3 or 4 dates in we had that conversation, which I think is where that period of like you've been enough dates out where it's like, are you dating other people? I
Right.
wouldn't say it on the first or second date like, oh, you know, other people, because you're kind of like getting a feel for each other. In fact, my first date, I don't call it a first date, I call it a meet up because you're meeting up with that person.
I
Then
don't
after
actually like
that-
the word date.
Yeah.
I don't like the. I don't say something. Do you want if someone said, "Do you want to go on a date?"
Yeah.
Well, when you take him on a date,
That's what
right
freaks
now,
me
never
out.
because you've asked me.
Yeah.
But I don't actually ever say, "Do you want to go on a date?" It's always just, "Do you want to go for a drink?" or "Do you want to go for a
Yeah.
coffee?" Like
You don't.
I think
Yeah,
the word
like,
date
do you
is
want to
weird.
meet up basically? Like the first, I call the initial first meet up, and then after that, we'll know if we want to go on a date, like an actual official date. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
And get to know that person more. So,
I
yeah.
never make it that far.
In terms of a proper date, like what does that? I'll tell you what, and I'll ask that in a different way. What would a good actual first date look like to you?
I'm like an outdoorsy person, so like something that's like quite fun. Like I don't know, like crazy golf. Something that's a little bit like I don't know, like something you got to do together. I don't want to eat in front of someone for a first date, particularly. This is not all girls, but me particularly.
Yeah.
I'm a messy eater. Like, I need to get to know someone before I eat in front of them. And I like to chat. So like, I find when I've been on like food dates, their food's all finished and my full plate's there.
No, it's not for me. I hate dinner dates.
Yeah, it's too formal.
Is that your idea of a worst first date then?
My worst by a date would be a cinema date because you can't chat, you can't get to
That's not a date. That's an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Did that when you was younger, innit?
Yeah, like that.
Hey, do you want to go watch Paranormal Activity? Oh, protect you from the screen. Oh, that's so funny. No, yeah, cinema dates are dead. They're not dates. Boys, if you're taking birds to the cinema on the first date,
no, you can't.
Embarrassing.
How can you even talk in there?
It's weird though, because so many girls say so many different things. Like, so many girls have said they wouldn't go like mini golf because if you're trying to chat to someone and you're like, yeah, you alright? What's your name? Like,
no, you
jump in. Jump in. You
the mini golf.
I'll see you in a bit.
You walk around the golf.
I get it. No, I get it. But
you
just
have
like,
a few drinks as well.
yeah, so many girls say so many different things about what they.
And that's what I mean. It's like preference, isn't it? Like, I'm an outdoorsy person. I like.
Would you tell them that?
Fun. I think when you before you go on a meet up or a date with someone, you're obviously getting to a feel for each other.
Yeah.
Like, any guy who gets to know me will know that I'm quite adventurous. Like, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie and I like traveling. So I think they'll probably get a feel for the fact that, she wants to she'll probably want to do something fun. Do you know what I mean? For first date, not
go to the
cinema.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ban him from the pod. He keeps making me laugh. I'm looking at her in her eyes, and I see you going in the background. Like, he's not doing faces behind you, by the way, but he's just trying not to laugh, and it's put me off. Behave yourself, mate. All right. And also, boys, can we be?
I'm not gonna watch this pod back and be like, I should have slapped him. Don't. The thing is with me, don't tell me to do stuff because I actually do it, and I've learned the hard way. Like, well, that depends what it is. That depends on what it is. I'm actually like, what have I got myself into?
Yeah, what you went for?
What have I got myself into here? But in terms of like physical abuse, then if you tell me to do it, I will do it.
Well, Mason, relax, calm down, boy. Stay, sit. No.
It's time for the worst, isn't
The
it?
heat. This has got to be the heat.
It's
It must be the heat.
Speaking of worst things, we've none of us had a drink.
Mate,
Imagine.
the heat.
Are you like would you date someone that you meet off social media, or are you more happy kind of just meeting them in person?
No, I've been I think quite a few of my last few dates have been through social media actually. But I do prefer meeting someone in like a natural environment. I think when you actually know what you're getting, like you spoke and you know what the band is like, you know what they look like, and you just kind of already have a feel for each other. And I actually think it's better to meet people naturally than
I agree.
Agreed.
Do the.
Just keep that down now, please. Thank you.
you.
I was gonna say something. Brain fart. It was about dating.
Go on.
You said something interesting a minute ago. So you said the geezer that you was with was with one of your friends back in the day. Is that not a deal breaker for you?
Yeah, usually it is, but this was like a one night stand, not like they actually
Still too much for me.
dated.
Yeah, innit? You could see past that, could you?
It was
Clearly did.
to be fair, it was a bit of a weird one for me. Like it was, and when he to be fair, bless him, his little heart, because
Just don't say his name. Just don't call
I
him
won't
out.
say his name, but when he first slid into my inbox, I literally
He emailed her.
it was back in Facebook days.
AJ.
What was it back in Facebook days? Was it still DMs? It weren't DMs.
No, it wasn't DMs.
No,
it was
exactly.
inbox. Yeah, it was inbox.
fucking inbox. So fuck you.
I didn't laugh at you.
Apart from him. No, so he actually slid into my inbox and I was like, fuck that. I don't want my friends to. I actually said to her, I don't want my mates 30 seconds, and her scraps. And then but then he was very persistent for months to try and get me on a date. And then obviously did the 10-date thing.
Number one rule there, boys.
Consistency is key.
Consistency is key.
It's definitely key. I'm telling you, it actually is. For a girl like me, anyways, because I need to actually see that someone's interested. Do you know what I mean?
He's the worst, isn't he?
Mason's like
No, for instance, the most recent guy I got to know, he didn't talk to me didn't message for 2 days, and then I literally from that I unfollowed him on Instagram. I was like,
Oh, so the silent treatment don't work on
when
you.
he finally messaged me, I was like, fuck you. I didn't message back. Like if I don't hear from you for like 2 days, like that's
I'm the worst at replying.
For 2 days.
Is it an ick if a
week
guy double
sometimes.
text?
no. Like, I think it's nice when a guy double texts. It actually shows he's interested in you.
Really?
Like I think it depends on the girl. Like obviously, I like someone who shows that they're
Cover your
interested.
face.
Like I don't get ick from a guy showing interest. Like, I want to know that they're interested.
Not on purpose.
I don't
either.
like games. I fucking hate that.
I'm not.
People
Mine
feel like
are
they
not
can play
games. Mine are
these days.
genuinely. I'm terrible at replying.
Yeah,
They're not games. I'm like.
What for 2 days?
Sometimes
I
longer.
can be a week, mate.
But then you aren't interested in that person.
I'm not interested in anyone.
It depends.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're interested in someone, you will want to message them.
I agree.
She's right.
I do
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
You are right.
I do agree.
And the theory came, and I got this, like this is, and it's now one of the things that I will always remember. My ex said, like, he'll always wake up to a morning text and always get a good night text. And he said, it's the first thing I think about in the morning, it's the last thing I think about at night. Do you know what I mean?
That's a bit
Like,
much.
yeah, but if you're with someone and you're actually interested in someone, it should be,
If you're interested, we should be with them anyway, shouldn't you?
yeah. But then I guess the build-up stage, like, obviously you don't need to do that.
Alright,
but
yeah.
when you're actually with someone, like, if you're not doing that, then, do you know what I mean?
At what point is it too much in that scene stage then of on the texting and like the going out? Like, I mean, could you see someone most days if you like them? Because I personally
No
couldn't.
way.
For me, like I each to their own, but I don't get it when people like in each other's pockets.
I can't,
immediately.
yeah.
I need my own space.
I made that mistake in my last relationship.
I can't do
it.
it.
Much.
I think it's important to actually have time for yourselves,
Apart, yeah.
individuals, time for your friends, and then time as a couple.
Balance.
I think once a week's like enough.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a week if you're feeling horny, but mainly once a week.
What once a week? What? Sorry.
Seeing
Like
each other.
seeing
them,
your
basically.
partner.
Not just chopping, bro. No.
Okay.
I feel like all you guys care about is chopping. Is this a podcast? Like, everyone
No,
out
but
there,
there's
like,
no.
"Oh,
But
yes,
the reason why I'm talking about
shopping."
dating, right, is because we're especially when we've got a female guest. We've got
You're technically the second.
yeah.
So you're getting the girly side out. of this,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. We need to
Yeah.
know. We're trying to understand your perspective because like. All the female fans that watch us and talk to our pod have all reached out and said we love watching you guys because we
You're
get
so
a male
real.
perspective,
Yeah.
and we're real. We don't hide anything. We're exactly who we are. No, and the girls are getting a male perspective as to how we see things, what gives us an ick, what we like, what we don't like, things like that. So when we have a female guest on, we're getting your perspective
Yeah.
as to icks, what you like, what you don't like, how many messages.
But I
like,
don't speak for all women. I'm
No, of course
particular
not.
because I've gone through.
but what you're saying
So
will
the
resonate.
reason I'm
Do you know what I mean?
the reason I am the way I am is like I've been cheated on so many times. I've been fucked about. I've been in really toxic relationships. So I've now got like
Why do you think that's happened? Because you seem like a nice person. What?
well,
I'm going to ask you a genuine question here off the back of that. Have you ever, and this might be quite hard to answer, right? Have you ever looked at yourself and gone, maybe it's me?
so I will be accountable. Like I know I know I can be like, I'm fiery. Like I need a guy that can deal with this.
She over our fucking knee, innit? Really,
Oh,
basically. It's what needs to
like-
happen.
Like I've got ADD. I'm the Sagittarius. I'm like I'm a fiery character. I'm actually soft when you get to know me, but I'm very much because I got so much when I was younger. I feel like now I have to have a front because I ain't gonna get out again. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna. And I feel like a guy will know from my character whether they're like too much for me or like, I actually want to take a challenge on. Like she.
Yeah, but
Do you know what I
babe,
mean?
you need to look at it like this point as well. No guy really wants to take another challenge on when he's got a lot of stuff going on in his
But
life.
it's not.
already.
It shouldn't be a challenge.
Yeah, but
like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. But if I'm just because I'm like just because I have certain boundaries doesn't mean I'm a challenge. I'm
No,
actually
boundaries
really, like,
is different. But when a woman says like, "I need a man to handle me," I'm just like, "Come on, man!"
I didn't
like,
say that I need a man to
But
handle.
like in general, like that's what I'm going to because that's
Yeah.
what you hear. It's like, and I need a man to handle me. And maybe not you.
I
but in
think
general, I'm like,
the thing is, but you always say I'm quite a strong character. Not a
Yeah.
lot of guys will be interested in that. But I don't want to date a guy that's not interested in a strong woman because
There's a difference
I'll
in being,
eat them alive.
but there's a difference. There's a difference in that though, and being just hard work. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
I could put my hands up in my last relationships. I've been hard work. Like,
well, at least you can admit that.
Why was you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you hard work?
so
Be honest.
back, what made me hard work was, to be honest, it all comes down to communication. Like, if say my ex was like, "Oh, I'm going to be with you for a certain time," and then he wouldn't be there at that time, I'd be pissed. Like, I'd be really pissed because it's
chill
like,
out.
yeah. So I mean, like, whereas it's like, okay, do you know what? Like, it's fine. But what I think this is where there needs to be compromise because it's like, if you're not going to be there for this time, I can do other things with my time.
Yeah, that's
so
fair enough.
So let me know. Like, tell me. But I used to
that's
get
fair.
annoyed
Yeah,
about
that's fair.
that.
That's fair.
So I used to be like annoyed, and do it and he wouldn't learn from it. So I know that I could be quite aggy in that sense. And food, like just don't touch my food. Like, basically, when I'm hungry, I'm probably like this because I'm hungry, guys. You've starved me.
Regret me bringing you on yet?
No,
We starve all of our guests.
I feel like I get like I'm not gonna lie, I get a little bit more like when I'm hungry and I'm really hungry.
It's good that we've not fed you.
Yeah, you made me vicious.
Right, we're doing a lock-in, boys.
Make me ferocious. But yeah, no, I think and so in terms of that, and I think I was very much like. Back in the day, it's like, oh, like, you know, if you say you're going to do something, make sure you do it. But I think again, it's just down to compromise.
I don't think there's anything wrong in what you've said there in terms of like, if you say you're going to do something, do it. People being on time, be on time. If you ain't, just be like, look, I ain't going to make that time. So,
what am I saying? The type of person you are, right? You just said you're quite like ADHD-fied. You're quite happy. You're a very strong personality. Yeah. Do you think the guy that you get with? It would work if he's got the same personality to you, or would it be better if he's a bit more chilled and a bit more tame?
I need a diffuser. I need someone that I actually feel like I need a yin to my yang. Like I need someone that's on my level in terms of like wants to do fun stuff and can be spontaneous because I'm like that. So they need to be able to match that energy. Yeah. But definitely like when I've been with people that are just as fiery, it's been very toxic.
That's what I mean.
And I actually just need someone to be like, shut the up, babe, like you're, and me be like, actually, I'm being a bit of a dick.
So you want a man that's going to basically put you in your place. You want to be submissive to your man.
Not submissive of that, but like if I'm actually in my wrong, like I know that for him to get to that level, if he's a diffuser, that it's got to be like I'm actually properly acting up. Whereas usually it's like he's like, oh.
Who do you want to wear the trousers in a relationship? You or them?
So
that shouldn't be a hard question.
No, I feel like it should be equal, but obviously you got, happy wife, happy life and all that. then wear the trousers in the bedroom, me outside the bedroom, basically.
No.
You didn't say that to me earlier.
You're chatting shit. I can tell even what she was saying earlier. I know she was chatting shit.
You just saying that for fun.
That's now tell the real answer.
No, so I like wearing the trousers.
Oh,
wait. That's true. If it's true, that's probably why your relationships haven't worked.
Maybe what because I like wearing the trousers.
If the woman wears the trousers in a relationship, the relationship will never work.
But what do you mean by someone wearing the trousers?
Well, the guy takes charge in terms of what goes
I
on.
want a guy that takes charge. I don't want to.
That's not you wearing a relationship to the trousers then.
No, but I think in terms of wearing wearing trousers, it means like they. Do you know what I mean? Like if I. Timing, being on time. Like, I feel like some guys can just be fucking.
Yeah, there's a difference between being
complacent.
There's a difference between being a man and being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, if a man says like, right, I'm doing this day, and we're going to meet up on this day, and we're going to spend time together. If he disrespects you and the time tells you to be somewhere and he doesn't turn up, that's different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying in terms of, do you want someone that's going to?
I don't think it should be the guy or the girl wears the trousers. I think it should be an equal compromise.
Right, it isn't.
It isn't. That's not the world we live in.
Usually, the woman naturally will want the man to. I think.
Yeah.
Naturally, I think even if they say they don't, that is
the way. To wear the trousers. So what? When you say wear the trousers, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. If we're walking up the road and those guys that we walk around was to start on you, you'd want me to protect you,
of course.
Right? Well, then obviously, like,
is that what wearing the trousers means?
Well, there's a multitude. It's being a protector. It's being a provider.
Oh yeah, then of course I want the guy to wear the trousers. If that's what.
So what did you mean when we said that?
I thought it means like who's like the more like. The one that's in charge.
The man.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I think she's thinking about more the little stuff.
When you was in your previous relationships, who was the alpha? Was you like right? You're
we're
the boss.
Going here. We're doing this.
Who's telling you what to do when?
I think we were quite well matched in terms of this is why I need to date a guy that's well matched because I like doing spontaneous things. I don't like being locked in the house. I like being out and about. So it wasn't. I think we'd take turns in planning things.
Right. So he would never take control.
Like he'd take control, like turn up to my house and be like, I've got he's got like the surprise plan for me or like this date planned. So he'd take control in that sense.
Okay, cool. Right, okay. I'm just trying to figure out when you said you want to wear the trousers. I don't think any relationship where a woman holds majority of the control of the relationship will work.
I don't know what that means. I thought that saying was mean as in like who's like more like it's more in their terms sort of thing, not like who's more alpha. Like, because if it's my terms, it's like I just want to be respected. Do you know what I mean?
I just feel like you're
I think a lot of guys like who. Do you know what I mean? Like if a guy's wearing so I don't want a guy to be like, you can't go here and you can't go there. Like I don't think that's fair.
What if it was a situation where I don't want you going to the club?
What, with my girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't date someone who's like that.
But why
'Cause
not?
I wouldn't want to do that to them.
But this,
Like if you want to go to the club with your friends, go to the club with your friends. Like I trust you, you should be able to trust me. Like, and that's how it should be.
it's not about trust though. I don't think to a certain degree. It depends on the environment, depends on the situation. But if your girl wants to go to the club, say 2-3 times a month with her girls, and just be.
But then I'd be concerned. Like, why does she want to go to the club that much?
There you
Like,
go. That's my point.
Just her
That's,
lifestyle,
yeah,
maybe.
but that's different. I wouldn't want to be with someone who's like, you can't go to the club. But if I was going 3-4 times, then I'd expect him to be like, no, I
Yeah.
don't want you to.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if he's like,
Balance,
if he's like, oh, you can't. If I haven't seen my girls and we want to go on a night out, and he's like, you can't go, I'll be like, go fuck yourself then, because I will go out with my friends, and I would expect you to go out with your friends too. Like, what do you want us to do? Just sit here and bloody knit all night? Like, no. Like, I want someone who is comfortable in their selves, that they can trust me to go out and know that, like, showing we're a loyal, respectful relation, like couple. And I want to be treated how I want to be treated basically. And I want to treat someone that same way back.
But I don't think it's equal when it comes to stuff like that, because a man going to the club and a woman going to the club are two different stories.
Why is it?
Well, if a man goes to the club, he's not going to be surrounded by women that want him necessarily.
Yeah.
Because we don't live in that kind of world.
That's not true. We're in 2023. What are you talking about? Girls can be just as promiscuous as men.
It's still nowhere near close to how it would be if you
Yeah,
was to
but
walk into an
it still might be
environment
different. But
intoxicated,
ultimately, it comes down to respect and loyalty at the end of the day. Like, if you're with someone and you can't trust them going to the club, why are you with that person?
Oh, I agree. I think.
Like, if you don't trust your man going to the club because you think, oh, there's going to be all these girls around, then don't be with that man.
Of course, I
Like,
agree.
that you're ain't with the right person.
I think it comes down to insecurities as well, which I think loads
But
of
then
men.
you're not ready to be in a relationship.
No, you're right, 100%. I agree. I think men are a lot more emotional than they let on, and I think men are more insecure. I honestly believe men are more insecure than women. From the men I know, anyway. Not my close friends, but the people I speak to. I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
I think
bro, that's a
men
bitch. Most of these boys are saying what they're saying. They're a bit like they're acting like bitches. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know men are very insecure. So when I say it's not coming from an insecure point of view, I just know what men are like, and I wouldn't want necessarily my woman going into an environment week on week where I know she's going to have men throwing themselves at her. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think it should be a week on week thing anyways. That's it. But if it's like once in a blue moon, it's
Yeah,
like, I've been
that's
out
fine.
like for instance, me and my girls haven't been out for a few months. We're going to London on Saturday. We'll probably go to a few cocktail bars. Probably might go to. I don't think we'll end up in the club because I think I'm a bit too old for it now, anyways. But like, if it ends up being that's how it is, them two are in relationships. If their boyfriends were like, you can't go there, then I'd be like, get rid of
No, I
them.
think going to the brunch with the girls and stuff.
Yeah, I
Like, if
agree.
you want to go have a fun time with your girls or your boys,
100%,
then
I agree.
you
But
should do that and be
I'm
able
talking
to
about
be
more.
trusted.
No, I get what you're saying. I just think moral of the story is when it gets to when you end up in a relationship or fall into a relationship, naturally those things you shouldn't want to do it anyway.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
You shouldn't have
Yeah,
to
I'd
tell
be
me
concerned
stop
if I-
going
if
out
my-
and
yeah.
vice versa. It shouldn't be.
Yeah,
like
I'd be
that.
concerned if I was in a relationship with someone, my boyfriend wants to go out to the club every weekend. I'd be like, well, why?
Why are you doing it?
Why?
What's the
And this
motive?
is where I would wear the trousers because I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I get that. Okay.
I think it's good that you speak your mind. I think it's good. I don't think it's a bad thing. If a guy can't handle that, then that's
Yeah, I think that's
he's a
it.
bitch, isn't he?
Would you care if your man goes out and speaks to women as long as he doesn't do anything?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Just like going out, if his boys have met a few girls and he's talking to a couple girls.
Oh yeah, if he's like wingman and because his friends are single and he's like, there's just girls in the group and they've got a chat. As long as he's not flirting and
Knows
just
his
being like,
boundaries.
knows his boundaries, then of course, like you can't just be there and be like, oh, I can't talk to you because I've got a girlfriend. Oh, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? I think you know your boundaries and whether you're being disrespectful
Yeah, I
to your
hear you.
partner or
Yeah.
not. And I think that's what comes down to respect and just like loyalty at the end of the day. And I think I give whoever, when I get, obviously I'm a particular way, so I ain't going to just start dating anyone. But when I do start dating someone, like, obviously, I think they would know that, fuck, like,
At your age now, do you have like
expectations.
not necessarily a criteria, but like older, younger, all that sort of stuff? Does that bother you or not?
Nah, don't bother me.
Anyone?
Well, actually, no. Do you know what?
They're younger than you, that's why they're asking.
No. So I didn't used to have a criteria, but I had recently. So I think I had recently. Well, I say recently. I have been on a date with a much younger guy, and I think after that I was like, maybe no. Like there was.
How young was he? If you don't mind
He
me
was
asking.
23.
Oh, Fucking hell.
That's
Yeah.
young.
That's
You
young.
little
That's
cougar.
very
Yeah.
young. Yeah.
So I'd never dated
Fair
someone.
play to him though.
No, so I'd never dated
Fair play
anyone
to
that
him.
age before.
Boys, look at his bird. I'm seeing
Yeah.
Did I not
Yeah.
say that to you earlier?
Yeah, so
That to her earlier.
so I'd never
What?
dated someone that
Exactly that. Sorry, not to cut you
Yeah.
off. That like when a man dates an older woman,
Yeah.
gets attention like from an older woman, it's like
Yeah.
purely for
Yeah.
the buzz out of it. It's
Super.
like
I think so. And I think I didn't know that. Like, obviously, when you start chatting to someone, you don't know what their intentions are. So I didn't try and look at it of, oh, he's 23, just wants this. Like, I was like, oh, I'll give him time there. We'll go on a few dates, see what it's about. But I think, obviously, I realised actually he's 22, well, he's not 22, he's 23. He's in his early 20s. He should be going out, having fun, make mistakes,
yeah.
mess around.
He was.
And yeah, he probably was. I didn't sleep with the guy. Like, but I was.
You're
know
tough,
him.
aren't you? You're hard work,
Yeah.
you are, aren't you?
she's not that.
Well,
tough.
thank God, because look how many dates I go on, right?
Listen, do you
And
know how
imagine-
much credit you would have given that little 23-year-old? He had a fucking mate. His credit would have gone right up with the boys.
Look, boys, got turkey teeth. Look.
At an expense that she gets another body, like it's not a point in it. It's not a good.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think I
No,
know
you've got to
when.
tell that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you
She
at,
could
bro?
be blagging us. She could have slept with all of these people.
Yeah,
Oh,
innit?
definitely not.
Just noshes.
Yeah. Just noshes. There we got the numbers up. Yeah.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I think that's it, because I think especially now after being being in the public eye, I would like. Not that I was a stag before or anything, or do that before, because I definitely was still like, you got to go on a certain amount of dates and get to know someone before you exchange things with them.
Yeah.
So I think you can feel cheap after if they
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
because guys, say for instance, like this 23-year-old, like he obviously probably wasn't ready for a relationship. And imagine if I did stuff with him and slept with him and then it didn't work out. I'd feel like used a little bit, even though I know he hadn't used me. It ain't going anywhere. I don't really want to.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I
I think it
it's a
just
good
depends
thing.
on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, and this is something for you guys and girls out there, like, be honest about what you want, because honestly, like, there are times when girls do just want to you, like, sorry, or have sleep with someone
You
too.
can say fuck, it's fine.
Yeah. And I hate when guys feel like they've got to like lie and like love bomb to just get laid. Like, because I think we live in like the day and age we're in now, we can literally just say it. Just say what you want. Be honest about it. Because there are girls that just want to chop as well, whatever you want to
you
call
are
it.
right, 100%.
And there's girls that want, so don't waste each other's time.
But I think guys are afraid to have that. I think most guys are afraid to have that conversation
Yeah.
and say, look, I'm not looking for a relationship. Like, I think you fit. It'd be great to bang.
Do you know how
We-
surprised it'd be
no
how many
strings.
girls
Well-
also don't want relationships and
Yeah.
actually just
Yeah.
want a bit of fun, or maybe just want to go on a few dates to like be taken out, but actually don't want anything serious from it.
You know
Because
what's
there
the
actually is a lot of
response
girls
to that?
out there.
We said that in one of the first pods. We said on the very first pod, I said if you're one of these guys who tells a girl that you like him, you love him, you're looking for a relationship just to get into their pants, I think you're a bit of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah. You're right.
I think if you can't have that honest conversation,
Sell
you
the
know,
dream.
yeah, they sell the
Can't do
dream
that.
just to get into their pants. I think that's a
It's
bait now.
very
Yeah.
misleading.
I know what you're
It's
about
very
to say.
misleading.
What?
Oh, go on, carry on.
What was I about to say?
I don't know. Well, go on. And if you're going to say it, then I was right.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, right. I'm kidding.
What do you think I was going to say?
I've lost my train of thought.
Oh,
It's just very misleading, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, sorry, that's it. So if you're chatting to a girl and say, and that question then comes up in terms of what do you want, and you say, I'm not looking for anything serious. This is what I want, etc. That's then on the girl.
yeah.
Right. So if you're having that conversation with a girl and you've said, look, I don't want anything serious. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for X, but I wouldn't mind someone chilling with, hanging with,
Yeah.
doing,
Do you know how many girls would actually probably like, I think that's what I probably want. I don't even know.
And then
if
if
I
the girl
want a
then goes,
relationship.
do you know what?
Do you
I
how many
don't
girls-
either.
Yeah.
That's the girl has chosen to come into that situation knowing that you are not then looking for a relationship. So that, if
No one's getting
things,
hurt.
you say
Well,
that.
Yeah.
Feelings
Well, eventually
sometimes
if you-
do develop.
Yeah, but it's not the boy's fault then.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you come into the beginning, then he's already set them expectations of, I'm not actually looking for anything right now. Or you haven't even had that conversation. And then you start getting feelings and get annoyed at him that he wants to now break it off or sleep with someone else. You can't get annoyed with that guy or girl.
As long as it's
if-
like transparency
you've
and
had
being
that.
honest the whole time.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't you
100%.
think though, people don't really have that conversation early doors.
I was just gonna say,
you,
like-
I was gonna say,
you
with a guy-
speak, you flirt,
Yeah.
you go for a drink, something happens, and then it's like when it gets 1 or 2, 3 dates, when you remember, okay, so what's going on here?
No,
and
I
then
don't. I nip it in the
So
bud.
I feel,
but you-
so
Really?
this is
But
my
generally
question to you
speaking,
guys, because I
that's
weren't
what you
sure.
do.
Like, because where I'm at right now, I don't know if I actually want a like full-time commitment thing, because I potentially want to move to Australia, potentially.
Sorry, George, what?
Huh? So no, but it's like I don't even know. Like, so I'd rather someone was just honest, like, and we have. But
Yeah, I
do you have
agree.
those-
Yeah.
But then I was like, if I bring up what are you looking for on a first date, and like what is it that you're actually looking for? Is that too? It does it seem too abrupt, and and does it scary because it makes it look like I actually want
You're
more.
looking for something.
Yeah.
Because it actually looks like I'm watching more something more serious. Whereas actually, I actually don't know what I want. Maybe I would like to get to know someone and see where it goes. But in terms of a full-on relationship, I don't actually know if I want that right now.
I agree. There's two ways of looking at this. Well, so I can call it seeing a girl, and I found out through a mate that she, on the first date, that she was going to ask me, "Oh, what is this then on the first date?" And that if she would have asked me, that would have put me off instantly.
Yeah.
That would have like been a big red flag for me. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just going on the first date. Chill out.
Yeah, because
But-
you automatically assume it's
Yeah.
like, oh, they want more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Whereas
but
actually, they just want to know what
the
it
other
is.
perspective of this is before I do speak to any girl, this one in particular I didn't, because I didn't see it like I don't know why, it's just angled differently. And I'd always tell girls before I start speaking to them, I'm not really looking for a relationship, I'm not really in the market for one. If you want to carry on speaking to me, that's fine, we'll chill out. And I always manage expectations, and that's pretty much why I don't really have any psycho
Yeah.
weirdos ringing me up on the
Yeah,
weekend.
same.
Yeah.
I don't have
But
no
if
girl
you
drama. You
say,
know that.
say for a girl, then let's spin it around. A guy doesn't bring that up. So how does a girl bring that up without looking like a psychopath? Because
You- no, no,
actually,
It's not a psycho.
Just a bit of time. It's not a psycho question.
No,
It's not a psycho
no,
question.
but you said that you'd automatically be like, oh,
No, she was going to ask me on the date. I'll probably try and establish it before you even meet.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
I would-
let's go there. Like just add it in a few texts.
I always establish it before I meet them, really.
But what if you don't know until you actually want to get to know that person? Because it's like
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, yeah, I hear what you said, but it's each their own, I suppose. I don't really want to invest a lot. I'm busy, and I don't really want to invest the time in people anyway, because I know I just can't really commit to a lot. So I always try and manage expectations from the beginning to say like, right, well, I'll come meet you and stuff, but it's not really what I'm not really about that right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
See-
and if they continue speaking to me,
but
then
that's
it's cool.
you. What if one of you guys say is like doesn't actually know what they want right
That's what I
now?
was
It's a little
about to
bit
say.
like, do you know what? Maybe I'm not saying I'm opposed to a relationship, not know if I want it, but also don't know. Like it depends on the person and the individual
I
you're
was
getting to
literally
know.
about to say, well, off the back of that, I could turn around and say, I do want to meet someone, but at the same time, like, I only want to do that if it's the right person, right? So I can't essentially say that. Say that.
You
So
put yourself in a box.
So, exactly. So what I would say is, listen, like, I just want to. I'm at a stage. I want to get to know someone. If it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere.
That sounds like a boy thing.
But
Though.
it does.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. Of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is the easiest way to get out of it. But that is the honest truth of it. For me, the more time I spend with someone, I'll know whether it's going to go somewhere or not.
Yeah.
I can't give her that
But
guarantee.
for you to say that though, the answer you just gave, a girl would have to ask you.
Yeah, she
you're-
would.
So because you can't just say, by the way. So I just want to see, like,
No,
so
no,
how,
cool.
this is my question.
I wouldn't
to
mind
you
if a
guys.
girl asked me that straight away.
So you would say, well, if a girl just says, so like, what is it you're looking
If she
for?
come out and
I
ask
would
it,
respect her for it, because essentially what she's doing is she's sussing me out. She's probing me to understand like what it is I'm after, and that way she's going to make a decision. Now that's up to me whether, as a man, if I want to lie to get what I want, or to be a man and be a gent and actually say, look, darling, this is what I'm after. This is where I'm at in my life. Whether you like that, then we carry on talking.
Not being
If not,
funny,
then
you
we go
could
our
save
way.
yourself a hell of a lot of fucking time as well.
Yeah, bro.
If
Loads
she
of
asks you
time.
that question, and because she's the type of girl that maybe she's the type of girl that's like a relationship girl and etc. etc. Because there are plenty of girls like that. And so if she asks you that question, say, look, I'm not actually looking for that right now, so I'm probably not the guy you want to be speaking to.
They would call
And now
so many-
girls will just go, I've had it, and girls go, do you know what? Respect the answer. I can't. I've no point me talking to you. I'm like, yeah. Do you know what? Fair play.
And
They
that's
always
how it
come
should be.
back.
I think that's how it should be.
They always come.
They
I'm sorry,
always
do
come back.
They do come back. They do.
But you've been on. Have you been on a few dates at that point, or just been talking?
No, I mean, like, you say you're on the talking stage on wherever. We don't use dating apps. I don't know. Do we all still use
No
them?
way.
I don't. Anyway,
I'm banned.
are we all
off.
off?
Yeah.
Fair play. We've actually stuck to it.
Not by choice.
Not by, so,
Oh,
yeah.
never going back now.
So we're all off dating sites now. We don't do dating sites. But say, for instance, back in the days,
my choice.
I'm banned. I want Hinge, take me back, please. I'm going to email.
we get a sponsorship of Hinge. Say we speak to girls on DMs or dating apps back in the day. I've seen this happen a few times. You tell them that what your intentions are, and they said it's not for me, but then they always come back around anyway.
Yeah.
Say about 2-3 weeks later, they'll pop up again.
Yeah, but then maybe they thought about it and they're like, okay, actually, maybe I'll.
Yeah,
be
I know.
fun
So
too.
what I'm saying is,
So there's nothing wrong
if you
with
play-
that.
if you're-
Like,
if you're
maybe a girl
cool-
needs to take time to think about, be like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then like, oh, that's not for me. And then actually think about it, be like, actually, maybe I don't want anything serious. Maybe
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The girl
But then at least
eventually
you've
will
been
respect you
honest,
more
yeah.
because they're thinking, guy was actually genuine with me. I'm not really having luck with men at the
Yeah,
moment.
and it gives
I'll
them
see
the
what he's
chance to
about.
like,
Don't think it comes down
and then
to
anything that comes from that is like, well, you knew what the situation was because we
Exactly.
said it. So if anyone gets hurt, it's just that I was transparent from the get go.
Exactly
I think
that.
that's how we got to be going forward, everybody.
But people, not men, not women, people don't like playing the long game with anything in life. Everyone wants something quick, and
Well, I
everyone
just
wants
heard that
something now.
with the 10-date thing.
Well, no, no, the long game. That's not a long game. That's just taking the piss.
No, that's the one
just
person.
taking the piss
The one person. Usually it's not 10 dates.
What do you mean? No, elaborate on that in terms of don't like the long game.
Well, like if anything, people like say, well, I do sales, right? People don't see the longevity of stuff. In sales, you're taught you need to build your pipeline.
Yeah.
So you might not get the deal today, but you might get the deal in 3 months' time. So you build a rapport with the customer and stuff like that, right? And I see the whole world like that. You might not get it today, but you might get it sometime down the line.
Yeah.
Now, for short-term gains, so say you talk to a girl and you're honest with them. Most men won't be honest with them. They'll say, "Look, I really like you," just to get into their pants, just so they get the shag that quickly.
Yeah.
And then it can sometimes backfire. So then they get the headache, they get the psycho girl calling their phone every weekend. They've hurt a girl's feelings.
Yeah.
Their brother's angry at them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you've got all these hassle just from you, just playing the short game instead of playing the long game. Now if you go, listen, I'm not really into this. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm happy to chill. Now if the girl says no, that's fine, and then she comes back around later, no one gets hurt. She knows exactly where you stand. And you've got no hassle and no drama in your life. I think, and that's playing the long game. Now, she might never come back, but if you play your cards right and you talk to 10, you get 1. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also,
the moral of the story is basically be honest about what you want,
also
be
don't
upfront, and then like be transparent, and no one gets hurt. And if anyone gets hurt, it's basically
on them.
Yes, on
Because
them.
I also don't understand when guys are like, then go weird to girls afterwards. Like after this letter of them, like they go weird and they go, or they might then just not speak to them, or they just go weird about it. And I'm like, why do you
weird
do
about
that,
him?
man?
What?
Do you know
Because
what
I think
mean?
if a guy does that naturally, it's because he's basically saying I've got what I want, and now I'm just trying to show to you, get the fuck away from me. Like I don't want to talk to. That's
I get that.
That's
but
what it comes down to. You just dead the chat.
I mean, look, I'm
You
sure
don't say it.
we're all guilty of it when we were younger, definitely.
Oh, 1,000%,
Do you know what I mean? But I don't now in the latter years. I don't get that. I don't understand why you got to be like that. Do you know what I mean?
Because men can't have. We had a conversation earlier.
What is it? Yeah,
I'll tell you
it's
why.
just like guys ghosting girls out of nowhere for no
'Cause
reason, no
men-
explanation.
No, again, it's not men. I'm not going to put men into a box. It's people. People can't have difficult conversations. We had this conversation earlier. Again, I'm relating back to sales. People in sales have to have difficult conversations all the time, and they've got to accept the reality of the situation. And you've got to literally, right, that one's done. I've got to fucking move on with it. But people can't actually have difficult conversations. They'd rather shy away from it, shy away from the issue, rather than attack it head on.
They're all just ghosts, and I think it's so disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
You're a coward,
That's because
mate.
you're
I
a
think you're a
coward. You're a bitch.
Yeah.
You're not. You're a bitch of a person. Or not just men. Women do it as well.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
can't
God.
face their problems head on. But that transpires throughout the whole life. They don't face their problems head on. Then everything compiles, and it's a snowball effect. And then all their problems get worse because you never took the time out to tackle it head on. I think the key to anything is tackling it head on. It might be painful in the beginning, but then you sort
It's like a
that problem
plaster.
out.
You rip it off real quick.
Exactly
Get it done
like
and
that.
dusted.
Exactly
It's over
that.
and done with.
Exactly that. You get the plaster, you rip it
And I
off.
think there's more respect in that, even if it's like something a girl doesn't want to hear
Yeah.
or a guy doesn't want to hear. When there's like complete transparency, like honesty, then you respect it.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, if my partner cheated on me, if they told me, it'd fucking kill me. But at least I heard it from there and they respect. I wouldn't take it. I mean, we'd still break up, but at least it's like at least you respect me enough to tell me.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
if you've been lying and keeping behind my back, and I find out through another way, best believe you're getting chopped off.
Well, the reason you have to understand that's a different kind of story. I don't condone cheating at all. I
No,
think it's
no.
terrible.
This is like a far-fetched trip, but like honesty at the end of the day just shows there's a bit more respect when you're just completely honest.
1,000%. But the reason why he's not telling you is because he's trying to protect his interest.
Yeah.
He's not telling you because he's trying to be dishonesty. He's trying to keep you whilst having fun.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Well, that's
But that's what I mean. You don't. That's where it comes down to respect, isn't
That's
it?
yeah, of course.
That's
Yeah.
so
That's why he's
bad.
doing it.
But that is the reality of it. The only reason he's not telling you is because he wants to keep you whilst he wants his cake. And
But that's a bad
is the most fake
person.
now,
Like that's
though.
the thing.
Yeah,
like,
they are, yeah.
I feel like
Most
people
face.
cheat. They should feel bad and guilty about it. Like, don't even be with someone if you want to. cheat
Oh, I
on
do
someone.
think people feel guilty about it, but sometimes the lust consumes them.
Yeah.
And,
Then you're not ready to be in a relationship. You want to be a free single man that can do what he wants, or
I think-
woman. But if you're meant to love someone, like if you're actually meant to love someone and that person loves you back, how can you want to hurt them like that way?
we had this conversation not too long ago on one of the pods.
Oh, really?
I do believe I've said this before. I do believe a man. You won't like to hear this, but it's true.
More susceptible to cheating.
It's not susceptible, but I don't feel like we're meant to sleep with one partner for the whole of our life. And
Oh no, we'll talk about this in the car. So basically, it does stem back to the caveman days.
yeah, well,
Monogamy, basically.
listen, a man could, whether you like to hear this or not, but we'll go back to the love thing after, because you're right what you said about love. Me and you are together, and I love you, right?
Nice, love you too.
People won't want to accept this, but it's true. A man could sleep with 3 or 4 girls and still love you the exact same way as he still.
Yeah, if it's just sex.
But the difference is, just sex.
Just sex. But when people actually have full on affairs, then that's something different.
Yeah, but I don't think just sex is acceptable. What my point is,
no, it's not. It's not acceptable. I'm not saying.
If I loved you and I knew that you found out me cheating, sleeping with other women is going to hurt you, that should hurt me as well, because I'm meant to love you, right? Yeah. So by me sleeping with other women, and I know it's going to disrespect you and actually hurt your feelings and stuff, that we're intelligent beings. We should know that that's going to hurt my partner. Yeah. That's why I shouldn't do it. But that doesn't change the fact that from our DNA is we wouldn't mean these women that I would sleep with wouldn't mean nothing to me, and I'd still love you the exact same way. The only difference is we're intelligent enough that it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
where we're not cavemen anymore. We have in terms of intelligence should have evolved.
Exactly. But we are going. I believe personally we are going against our DNA, and scientifically we are not monogamous animals. And if anyone can dispute that, but we're not. Humans are not monogamous, but we're intelligent. So the difference is we have choice.
Emotional intelligence.
No animal has choice. No animal knows right from wrong.
Yeah, but there are animals out there that also don't cheat. Like certain birds, there's certain things that will stay with their partner forever, and they will not cheat.
But that's their DNA.
Yeah.
That's not our DNA.
They're not taught to do it like.
How do you know that's not our DNA? Have you spoke to the cavemen?
Well, no, it's scientifically proven.
Whoa.
Who made up relationships? Who made it up? Was it humans or animals?
What do you mean?
Well, relationships aren't real, are they?
That is from people. Like we said, we're in a relationship. Like we invented by us.
Yeah, of course, animals still have relationships. You see, like birds, for instance, they will a male bird and a female bird. A male bird will go out and go get stuff with its female bird when she's pregnant.
Pebble.
Yeah, like
you're right.
Or like penguins, for instance. Yeah, like penguins will literally collect pebbles to try and like.
You're telling me we already know. I know, but that's birds. They're monogamous animals. Humans aren't.
Mammals.
Humans aren't monogamous animals. They're not. Birds are. Penguins, swans, they all are. Yeah. We're not.
But our emotional intelligence aren't like animals either. We should now evolved. Our emotional intelligence should have evolved to a point where we know what's right from wrong. We know.
Yeah, we do.
And if you're not a monogamous,
you're missing my point.
If you're someone who hasn't evolved in that way, then be single. They're the ones that should be single for their
You're missing the point.
Right, so we're intelligent enough to know that that's going to hurt you if I sleep with someone else, even though I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that I could go and sleep with 3 or 4 different women in a weekend and still come back to you on Sunday evening and be in love with you.
But that's where you probably shouldn't be with someone. You're not. Your emotional intelligence hasn't evolved enough to be with somebody.
Not me.
I'm just saying. If there are men like that,
I'm telling you the facts of men.
So that's the facts of men. I'm just saying these men should not be in relationships. They should just.
No, you're not getting it.
Unless they have that.
It doesn't mean they agree with it. They're going to go and do it. I'm saying every man could do it and still be capable of the same thing.
No.
Not that they should.
They're not saying we should. They're just saying every man could.
We're not advocate. We're not like.
I think every woman could as well.
No, they couldn't. They're not built like that.
What did we say earlier?
No, we're not built like that. No, I would never. Like even
when
I couldn't. Like if I love someone, I love someone. I wouldn't even look at another guy. I could have like.
Not even just love, but even if you're just sleeping with a man, like you release a certain hormone that makes you more attracted to that person. And what did we say? We said when a woman sleeps with a man,
he's
got to bring something to the table. We would just sleep with someone.
I think definitely like it's deeper for women when we sleep with someone, and that's why I think we do take longer to like. Do you know what I mean? That's why I am where I am. Like, I don't just sleep around because. Do you know what I mean? As we've discussed.
Well, there you go. You've proved the point. Like, it means more to a woman than does to a man.
100%.
It's unfortunate, but
it is what it is. Yeah.
Listen, the only time I believe that is acceptable is if you're openly having that conversation with a woman. Like if you're,
but it's not cheating, then, is it?
But I think the only caliber of a man can do that. There's a certain percentage of a man that could do that, and it's only if someone is actually providing some sort of like value to your life in every sort of way. But he's like, I've got a few sightings. Some women will accept that because we.
Yeah, like, I know people who like are in throuples or have like open relationships. Like I know couples that are in love with each other, but they have boyfriends and girlfriends, but they communicate, they're honest with each other about it. So I think, and we're in 2023 where things are a little bit more open. We have those discussions, sex is a little bit more, we discuss what our desires are, fantasies are. And I think that's where we just got to be open and honest with one another about what we are into and what we want, because you might meet a guy that's like, actually, I love you, but and we can date, like we can sleep with other people, get them involved in the bedroom with us, but we're still that couple that we love each other. It's just a sex thing. And I think we're now in a day and age where that is a little bit more like, it's not acceptable, but it's not like so much of a big taboo anymore.
So,
like I know people that are in open relationships, they love each other, but they have
other partners.
they sleep with other people basically.
Bit of a different
But
question.
as long as they're honest with each other, they tell each other about it, it's like it's okay for it.
Speaking about this type of thing and speaking about what you said earlier in terms of you don't feel as though you're potentially quite ready to have a full-on commitment just yet.
I don't know, like
know-
Ozzy said, like I think it'll be dependent on the person. I don't
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, at 30 now, yeah, we know that a body's woman,
Oh my
a woman's
God, you're about
body,
to ask what I wanted to ask.
a woman's
You're
body.
sick.
Wait,
You're sick.
Everyone's over talking.
Sorry.
So when you get to 30, we know that a woman's body begins to change in terms of the children and all that type of thing. Yeah, a woman's body does begin to change when she hits 30 odd.
Yeah.
Does that not potentially, I suppose, for want of a better word, frighten you in terms of, okay, cool, like I've only got a few real peak years left to have kids, and that's not necessarily the case. You can have kids at any age now, but does that not play on your mind and think, do you know what, now at 30, by the time I'm 35, I'd like to have kids, or is that just not a thing for you? You're just not that bothered about it?
I think for me, like my main thing is like my happiness. I like traveling. I want to be able to do what I want to do. So I know in myself right now, I'm not ready for children. Like I'm not ready to have that commitment.
Fair.
So I'm not, whereas like literally everyone around me is in relationships and have like, you know, at that stage of getting engaged or getting married. But for me, I'm just not ready for that step.
Fair enough.
Maybe because I haven't met the right person. But for me as well, like I love the idea of having children, but I don't want children enough to just have them without someone I'm in love with. Like, I wouldn't just have children for the sake of having children.
Yeah. Fair.
So for me, it's like if I meet the right person, then and it's the right time, then we have children. That would be amazing. Obviously, that's the end goal. But if by 35 I haven't met the right person, I'm not gonna like. Do you know, I'm not gonna force myself to get a man and have a baby at 35 because at the end of the day, I want to be loved. I want to love
You
someone
won't
back.
settle, basically.
I won't settle for
Yeah,
especially
nice.
if once you
Good
bring
answer.
a kid into the world. Like
Great, I agree.
that's another life you've got to think about.
I think people need to suss out like and be realistic, be real to themselves and understand like their expectations of a man. Like if you want a certain type of man that brings A, B, and C, what are you bringing to the table as well, not you. In general, I'm talking about, because again, we've spoke about this many times on pods. Women have like a checklist when it comes to what they want in a man, but then it's like, well, what do you bring to the table to deserve that type of man? So obviously, I think some women do need to manage their own expectations and understand, look, if you are hitting a certain age, you know, I'm not you because you don't want to be, but there is probably a reason, a trait behind it. So technically, you need to manage
But it
your own
makes me sad that we
expectations.
have, like, you know, when I was 18, we all planned, what do I want to do by 30? And I did think I wanted to be like married and have 2 kids by that point. And it's mad that now I'm actually at 30. It's like, actually, there's actually so much more I want to do. And it's fine if people do want to do that, because if people are at that stage of their lives, but I don't like that there's pressures like, you turn 30 and then you have to have all your level. You've got to be ready
I
to.
think 30 is still young.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think it is for a
especially
woman.
now.
Young,
Like,
man.
there's so much more advances in, like, we can freeze our eggs. Like back in the day, it was a little bit more difficult because medical science wasn't as advanced as it is now. Like, there's so much more you can do in terms of IVF and helping things. So I feel like, you know, if people are worried about that, I'm nearly turning 30, don't be so scared.
I mean, it's more your parents
Yeah.
and the other generation that's going to be saying that to you. Like my dad says it to me. Like he says,
It is the older
"Get married, you
generations,
need
yeah.
to-" 'Cause
Sure.
that's what normal was to them. To us,
They
by
didn't have as
30,
many
people
options
are
as we
just-
do now either. And not in terms of partners. I mean, as in what things to do in
Yeah,
life.
like couldn't travel.
Yeah.
They couldn't travel as much. There wasn't like such things as aeroplanes, especially at the price they're at now. Like cheap flights, that was something they would have to save up so much for back in the day. And I think back then as well, remember women's rights, we weren't really allowed to work. So I think, you know, we can be more we're more independent now, whereas women needed to find a man like back in the day as a provider. And I think that's why families, like, you know, grandparents might be a bit more traditional because that's what they're used to and that's what they saw. And, you know, they probably were like, by that point we was already living together. And remember, like, back in the day as well, you weren't even allowed to have sex until you'd move in with each other after marriage. Like, it was very traditional back then. So whereas it's not like that anymore. Everyone's like, try before you buy now, aren't they? So
I mean, you never go watch a movie without seeing the
Trailer.
trailer first.
Yeah.
So technically, it makes sense to me.
Especially not 10 trailers. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. Watch the whole film. Let me watch the whole film now. I don't need to go anymore.
Do you know, I think it's great that obviously like women have rights and everything and they can work and have their own life. But don't you think women were happier back in the day when they could actually, when they were just getting married and their husband was looking after them rather than now?
No,
Because
I think it depends on the individual. Like, I think definitely depends. Some women might like that, and some women might like that now, and some men might like doing that. But I think back in the day, like there might be women that's like, I actually have more potential. Like, I want to work. I think I've got like they might be more
Got more to
creative.
give.
They might got more to give.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with whatever anyone wants to do. But I don't think it was fair that women literally didn't have the right to back
Yeah,
then.
I agree. Yeah.
And it's like, well, if they want to, like, it should be like, no, you just do the cooking and cleaning. Because it's like, I feel like I'm capable of more. Like, if we were back then, I'd be like, I'm boxed now. That would never been like anything that would been considered. It's still a little bit of a taboo now. Like, women, like back then, it's like you literally just cook and clean, and I can't think of anything worse than just cooking and cleaning. I can't even cook.
Isn't it society telling us now that women should be working or society telling women, that you should be working and doing this and not be looking up to no man, where from the music you listen to, etc., where like I think certain studies actually show women are more happier when they're having kids and they're in relationships and in their home. And this is from studies that they've done with actual people. So technically they're saying women, you might not want to do that. That's absolutely fine. Each of their own, but
That's why you have the rights.
Exactly. Like, but generally they're saying women are much happier when they play their gender roles, which is being the spiritual person at the home, looking after their home, their kid, their family.
Yeah, and I guess that goes
doing
back to what we're talking about with the caveman days. That's what we were. We were the child bearers. We were the ones that cooked and did that. So it might go back again to our DNA. That's how it was. Like the men went out and caught the food and they would fight and they would protect the homes, and the women would cook and clean. So it might again go back to the DNA. But I think I do like the fact that now it is like, what we have,
the right to choose.
Yeah, we have the right to choose. Whereas back in the day, obviously when it was a bit more traditional, we didn't really have those rights. So it's like you would have to get married at before 30 and have kids before that age.
The sad thing for us though, like if we turn around as a man and say that's kind of still what I want is a woman, that can obviously
Maternal
still
woman
work.
almost.
But if I want a woman that wants to be a house person, then I'm a toxic man because I'm controlling.
No, I don't think it's a
just
toxic
preference.
No, it is preference, and I think if you had that open conversation with someone, like when you're getting to know them, then you might find that person who's actually like, oh, actually, do you know what? I actually want someone who's just going to be a provider. And I want to do that. And I think this is where we really need to communicate what our expectations are and what we want from someone, and not want someone from.
You know what it is?
relationship.
It's a woman working absolutely fine. I think if they start prioritizing work over family, then it's an issue.
Yeah.
I think like if they put their work, like you see these women who are like big CEOs or like big company leaders, if they're prioritizing that job over their kids, their like partner, then it's going to be an issue.
But I think that's also for men as well. I don't think it should just be the woman. I think if a dad also isn't making time for their children, that's still
Making time, but prioritizing priorities is different for a man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think a man needs to be the breadwinner, and he needs to be the provider, the protector of the home.
But I would just always expect family to come first, like whatever the priorities are.
Oh, it does.
agree.
He's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a long, stressful job, and he has to be in the office for 12 hours.
Yeah.
that
If he
fucking
has to
day,
be,
like.
then yeah. But,
Do you know what I
but
mean?
also, if a woman has to do that, then why is it?
The woman shouldn't have to do it if she's got a strong man.
Yeah.
But that's pressure. That's a lot of pressure on a man as well. Nowadays, you need two income
Yeah, but-
to hold up a household. So I get why people work together, but I agree with what you're saying. I do believe it's more the man's responsibility, if not the whole thing, to be able to look after his family. And that's why we would work, is because you want to be in a position to be able to do that. Because who are you going to look to when something goes wrong and you need something? It's going to be to your man. So I get that.
Mason said you was telling me the other day you watched a documentary on Netflix about chimps.
Yeah.
Oh, someone told me about this.
And
Really good.
He said it was
Really good.
literally like watching humans, and the women knew to stay at home or with the tree and look after the baby chimps, and the men would go out in gangs and they'd go and hunt and provide.
It's the same with lions.
But no one taught them that. There's no society.
They have an actual society. They have a hierarchy, like in
It's
their
the
own
same with
society, in
prize.
terms of
Yeah.
who leads the pack, his right hand man, who forages, who fights, who protects, who watches. Like it's.
But I just think that's just mammal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's our biology.
That's what happened. It's biology. It's just how that's where it's just evolution.
Yeah, but there's women out there that thinks men have made these rules up. It's not.
Yeah.
This is This is our genetics. This is. No one taught these chimps to do that.
Oh,
No one teaches the lion to go out and do it. It's bred within your DNA. That's
Yeah.
what we're meant to do. And then I feel like there's this big misconception that women think, oh, men want us suppressed, men don't want us to
No,
work.
I think the difference
Yeah.
is
That's not
they're
true.
animals, whereas our
West is like
brains are way more advanced, and women are more capable than what.
Oh, no,
what
I'm not
chimps
saying they're
can
not.
do.
And I think
So
you should
that's
have the right to choose.
that's where it's a right to choose, because we're not chimps. They're clever in terms of men go out and do this, and women do this and like look after the children, but they aren't as advanced as we are. Like, look at what we can do.
That's not what he's saying, though.
I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm saying I 100% agree with you, but you should have the right to do anything you want.
Yeah.
And that's why women's rights are so important.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is women think that we've made them rules up that you should stay at home and look
no.
after
Yeah.
kids. That's not true. We
Yeah.
never made
No,
them rules
it's just
up.
how it was back in the day. And I don't think anyone, whoever says we've made that up, then it's just like that's obviously that was how it is. Traditionally, that was
Feminists.
that's
feminists.
traditionally how it was back in the day. But we're now in whatever century, and I don't national 21st century. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, anyone who
I'm more capable of that. What century are we in?
Yeah, no, anyone who argues that point obviously isn't familiar with past
Are you a feminist?
traditions. I don't.
No,
think so.
we spoke about this earlier.
I
She's
just-
not.
you don't
sound like
think-
she's
I
not.
don't think you're a feminist.
I don't think
I
so.
think
said
I'm
it
just like an
before.
independent
Woman.
Woman, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like, I don't.
And I think if a guy can't handle that, then he's a bean.
I don't think many guys.
Bean.
can.
Dean.
You don't think we can handle you?
No, it's not. I'm not saying I don't think.
Switch the
but I
cameras
think,
off.
I think from what you've said in this throughout this podcast, I'm definitely not the. Well, I know you're definitely not looking for what. Like, do you know what I mean? I think I'd be too much for what you're.
In what way?
You just want to chop.
I don't think
you
I'm
like
the
the
only one.
book?
saying that, look to your 3 o'clock to your right. I
With me?
I meant him.
What are you fucking looking at?
His chair's come this way.
He's nearly on your lap.
He's going to sit on your face soon.
Or the other way around. Anyway, we'll leave it there.
God.
Who wants to send us out?
Come on, guys.
Start to the honors?
Go on then, bro.
Okay, cool. Well, it was lovely having you on, AJ. Listen, guys, I'll show you this, yeah? We had notes. We make notes before every single pod. We do come prepared. We discuss it in the chat. We don't just randomly do stuff. We have Zoom calls, everything before we have guests on. And we went completely off tangent tonight. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was new. It was different. And I think technically you are the second guest. We have had second goal guest.
No.
Oh, no, we've had
Gabby,
we've
Thea.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah, I wasn't here for it. Of course.
Gabby, Thea,
Alicia,
and
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry, I wasn't here. I was in Turkey for that one. Apologies.
Getting his airline done.
There's no. If I wait, hold on a second. I'm the only one on this table that hasn't had their airline done. What are you talking about?
neither have I. Mine's going.
You don't have to tell him that, right?
Oh,
It's on cool sort you had in Turkey.
I'm the only one who doesn't need it done. There you go. Right. Anyway, so what I was basically getting at
Fresh out
is
of Istanbul, bruv.
yeah, fresh out of Istanbul. What I was trying to get at is we brought AJ on with intentions of asking reality TV and stuff, but we thought we might as well seize the opportunity. Also said he had a car journey down here with her, and she was very open-minded and wanted to talk about different things, and it was good to pick a girl's brain. Obviously, we know what we want, but it's also good to know what women want, and I think some of the guests back home watching that as well would appreciate that. I hope you guys did. So guys, if you've made it this far on the pod, we appreciate every single view. We appreciate every single comment. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we shall see you in the next.
Wait, one more second. Guys, one thing what we are trying to get a mission on at the minute, which is going to help the pod grow massively. We get thousands of views now on our pods and on Instagram and on TikTok. And we've still only got 566 subscribers on YouTube. So if you are watching this pod, I know it don't seem like a lot, but if you hit that subscribe button, that means everything to us. So that is only going to help our channel grow bigger and bigger and bigger. That will help get the guests get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you just don't know where we're going to end up and the type of things that we're going to start doing for the podcast. So if you do watch this,
Stupid.
got to say that, girl.
1,000 subs, we'll get strippers in.
What do you mean? What are you going to end up?
Listen, if you do it, then AJ will give you our OnlyFans for free for a month. But,
Yeah.
explicit. But yeah, no, listen, on all serious, look, we got a lot of love, we get a lot of support, and we share it all on the pages all the time. So if you do watch our podcast and you do enjoy it, please just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means the absolute world to us. So
Thanks.
Sweet.
Thank you.
in the meantime,
Love.
see you in the next.
Peace.